Imagine this. You're on a walk in the city with your wife. She's looking beautiful, and your kids. You guys are all having fun. And all of a sudden, a man, he may be drunk or he may just be pissed at life. He comes up and he wants to hurt you. He wants to hurt you and your family. That man is stronger than you. He's probably a bit taller than you. And you don't have any prior preparation. And therefore, you can't really do anything. Now your kids and your wife are looking at you like you're supposed to be the superhero. You're supposed to be the one to protect them, right? You're supposed to be the protector, the provider, all that. No. You turn to a pussy and you let the man get away with whatever he wants because you have the fear that you can't protect them. All because you didn't take the time to prepare yourself. You may be thinking, no, this is such a weird circumstance. You just made this story up, but spend 5 minutes on Twitter and you'll see what I'm talking about. Thousands and thousands of street fights that are unprovoked. They just happen. Because the reality is that even though you're in your little bubble, the real world is a place that can be violent at times. And if you're not prepared, you and whoever you love can be hurt in the process. So you have to ask yourself, why haven't you started training? Seriously, what reason, what excuse could you have for not starting to train? And I'm not just talking about combat physically, like MMA or judo, whatever you want to train. I'm talking about firearms training. I'm talking about putting systems in place with your loved ones and your family to make sure you guys are all right. Because the reality is that if you spend a year, just 1 year of your life, actually training and actually dedicating yourself to become a capable man, a capable fighter, you're already above 99% of men. So if you sacrifice 1 year of your life to train a martial art, to learn how to fight, you've already set yourself up for success and to protect yourself and your loved ones, basically for life. And even though society has lied to you now, saying that it's wrong to want to learn how to fight, that instinct that you have as a man, and I know you have it because every man does, they try to tell you that it's wrong, that it's toxic masculinity, that it makes you aggressive. That's not true at all. Don't let them brainwash you, because it's not true. Why do you think for eons we have put so much importance on men being capable to defend themselves? The Spartans would raise their children to fight. The Romans, every single fucking country that became successful, every single kingdom that took over the world, the men knew how to fight. The men defended their kingdom. There was not one country that had women fighting. And if they did, they got lost in history because they weren't successful. Our bodies themselves are made to protect. Our increased muscle mass, our height, our athletic capability. But nowadays you don't see that because nobody is taking advantage of our capabilities. So what I'm trying to say to you is that if not for yourself, if you don't respect yourself enough to want to learn how to defend yourself, at least you owe it to your loved ones. You owe it to your future children and your future wife. Because God forbid a situation like I just talked to you about happens, you need to know how to handle it. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when will you have to use those skills. And when the time comes, when push comes to shove, when you get that adrenaline pumping, and you quote unquote see red like every person does, will you know how to deal with things? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And if you don't, you should probably be very scared. So look deep in your primal mind, find that instinct you have to protect, to fight, and mold it. Train it the right way. Because humans, we don't have a good instinct to fight. When we fight, we put our chins up because our brains think that we see better like that and it makes us bigger, but it's not true. It makes our chins more open and more exposed to getting knocked out. You're supposed to put your chin down. Another example, when men fight, they load up their punches all the way from back here because their minds register that as being more powerful. But once again, if you've been boxing for a month, you'll know that you're supposed to keep your hands up here. Why? Because if not, you again leave your chin exposed. All these things are things you need to know. So don't for 1 second think that just because you get adrenaline or you see red that you know how to fight and you'd be fine. So if you don't have that fear yet, that uneasy feeling that you don't know how to fight, I don't know what to tell you anymore. This is for the men that have that feeling, that have that instinct, and that have been trying to push it down, that have been trying to ignore it. This is your message to start right now. Find a gym, start training at your house, do something, but start learning how to fight. You'll thank me later. See you, bro.